Welcome students to the third video lecture on vector analysis for BSc Physics first year, first semester. Topic of today's lecture is divergence of a vector field and few more numericals on the divergence. So far we have learned about vector field, scalar field, operator del and its characteristics, and operator Laplacian in first lecture. In second lecture, we have studied the gradient of a scalar field. Gradient of a scalar field is defined as the maximum rate of change of a scalar field at a particular point along normal direction. There mathematically we have operated del operator on a scalar field. By operating del operator on a scalar field, we got gradient. Gradient of a scalar field is a vector quantity. Today, we are going to learn the divergence of a vector field. Here, mathematically, what we are doing is just operating del operator on vector field by dot product. That is called divergence of vector field. In case of gradient, we have operated del operator on scalar field. We got a vector field there. Here, we are operating del operator with the help of dot product on vector field. We got a scalar quantity. Naturally, dot product gives us scalar quantity. Therefore, the dot product between operator del and a vector field is called divergence, which is a scalar quantity. The dot product in between del operator and the vector field is called divergence, and this divergence is a scalar quantity. Though we are taking vector quantity, applying or doing dot product with del operator, we are getting a scalar quantity. This is the mathematical operation. Now we are going to learn the statement or definition of divergence of a vector field. Divergence, the term divergence is related with amount of flux. Divergence is related with amount of flux. Here the divergence of a vector field is defined as the amount of flux per unit volume which is diverging from a particular point. The divergence of a vector field at any point is defined as the amount of flux per unit volume which is diverging from that particular point. This is called divergence. You know already amount of flux that is equals to line integral of vector field dot infinitesimal area element. You have learned this at your intermediate second year. So here the dot product or scalar product of a operator del with a vector field A bar is called divergence of vector field. Just we have done now. Therefore, the divergence of a vector field A bar is written as div A bar, that is equals to del bar dot A bar. But this del bar dot A bar is defined as amount of flux per unit volume. But amount of flux is given by line integral A bar dot ds bar. Ds bar is area element. Amount of flux is line integral A bar dot ds bar. You have to divide this flux with volume, you got divergence. Therefore, divergence of a vector field that is written as div A bar, that is equals to del dot A bar, that is equals to line integral A bar dot ds bar by volume V. This is nothing but divergence of vector field. This is also written as limit delta V is tending to 0, line integral A bar dot ds bar by delta V. Delta V. If I am taking this vector function as vector field as A bar is equals to AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. This AX is the component along x-axis, AY is the component along z-axis, AZ is the component along z-axis. So the divergence of vector A bar that is equals to mathematically del bar dot A bar, that is equals to the operator del, you know well, I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z dot this vector quantity AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. Just here we are doing the dot product in between these two quantities. We got dou AX by dou x plus dou AY by dou y plus dou AZ by dou z. But this dot product gives us the divergence. Therefore, del bar dot a bar, that is divergence of this vector a bar, that is equals to dou ax plus dou ay plus dou az by dou z. This is the mathematical expression for divergence of a vector field. Now we are going to derive this expression for divergence. For the derivation of divergence of a vector field, we are taking a vector field here. This is all vector field. In that vector field, I am taking a rectangular parallelopiped volume element. A rectangular parallelopiped volume element whose sides are dx, dy, and dz. This dx is parallel to x-axis as shown in this figure. This dy is parallel to y-axis. This dz is parallel to z-axis. In this rectangular parallelopiped, I am taking a point P. This point P is at the center of this parallelopiped element. This point P is specified with a vector value a bar. This point P is specified with a vector value a bar. The components of vector a bar is, you know already, ax is along x-axis, ay is along y-axis, az is along z-axis. These are the components of vector A. Now we have taken a vector field. In that vector field, I am taking a rectangular parallelopiped volume element whose sides are dx, dy, and dz. This dx is parallel to x-axis, this dy is parallel to y-axis, and this dz is parallel to z-axis. Now, in this parallelopiped element, I am taking a point P, which is specified with a vector quantity A. This point is located at the center of this rectangle parallelopiped element. This P is specified with a vector quantity A, whose components along x-axis is ax, along y-axis is ay, along z-axis is az. Here I have shown in this figure. Now, this field is expanding along all the three directions. Therefore, to find the rate of change along x-axis, that means the rate of change of this vectorial component ax along x-axis is written as dou ax by dou x. The field is expanding. For example, along x-axis, the ax, the rate of change of ax along x-axis is dou ax by dou x. Similarly, the rate of change of ay along y-axis is dou ay by dou y. The rate of change of az along z-axis is dou az by dou z. We got these three rates along coordinate axes. Dou ax by dou x is along x-axis, dou ay by dou y is along y-axis, dou az by dou z along z-axis. Here I am taking a point M on the face ABCD. Point M on the face ABCD. This point is midpoint of this face. This point is midpoint of this ABCD face. And one more point I am taking in EFGH phase N. The point N is also midpoint of EFGH phase. Now, I am calculating the value of AX at point M on face ABCD. This M is located on ABCD face. Therefore, the value of AX at M is given by the value of AX at point P, the value of AX at point P, and the increment when this field is expanding from P to M. Therefore, the increase in magnitude from point P to M. When we are adding this increment to AX, then we get the total value at point M on face ABCD. Increase in magnitude from point P to M is calculated with the help of rate of change with the distance from point P to M. So here the distance between point P to M, P and M is dx by 2, because the point P is at the center of the parallelopiped element. The side is dx. Therefore, the distance between P and M is dx by 2. Therefore, the value of AX at M is written as AX. This is the value at point P plus dou AX by dou x. This is the rate of change of AX along x-axis. The rate of change along x-axis dou AX by dou x into the length, that is the dx by 2. Therefore, the value of Ax at m is given by Ax plus dou Ax by dou x into dx by 2. Just rearranging this term as that is equals to Ax plus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx. This is the value of Ax at m on face ABCD. Similarly, we are going to write the value of Ax at the center of EFGH face. EFGH face is behind the ABCD face. So the value at point N in EFGH face is Ax minus dou Ax by dou x into dx by 2. Ax minus dou Ax by dou x into dx by 2. That is written as Ax minus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx. But vector flux is defined as amount of flux entering into or out of volume element. Amount of flux entering into volume element or out of volume element. That is equals to the product of surface area flux. Vector flux is defined as the product of surface area and the vector field normal to that surface. Vector field normal to that surface. Therefore, the product of surface area and the vector field normal to the surface is given as vector flux. Therefore, here the surface area of ABCD is equals to surface area of EFGH. That is equals to length into breadth. The length into breadth is dy into dz. So the surface area of ABCD is equals to surface area of EFGH, that is equals to dy dz. Now the flux entering into the face EFGH is equals to the value of Ax at face into surface area. That means Ax minus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx multiplied with the area element, that is dy dz here. Therefore, the flux which is entering into the face EFGH at point N, that is given by Ax minus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx into dy dz into dy dz. Therefore, we are going to calculate the flux coming out from the face ABCD here. The flux coming out from the face ABCD is the value at face ABCD into the surface area. The value at point M is Ax plus 1 by 2 dou Ax by dou x into dx into surface area is dy dz. Therefore, the flux coming out of ABCD face is Ax plus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx into area element, that is dy dz. Now we got the flux entering is Ax minus 1 by 2 dou Ax by dou x into dx into dy dz. The flux leaving from ABCD face is Ax plus 1 by 2 dou Ax by dou x into dx into dy dz. Now I wanted to calculate the net flux coming out from the volume element along x direction. Net flux, that means leaving flux minus entering flux, leaving flux minus entering flux. Therefore, the leaving flux is Ax plus 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx into dy dz. This is the flux which is coming out from ABCD phase. Now, minus Ax minus 1 by 2 dou Ax by dou x into dx into dy dz. This is the flux entering into the phase EFGH. This flux is entering into the phase EFGH. Therefore, here I am subtracting this entering flux from flux coming out of ABCD. I got dou Ax by dou x into dx dy dz. Here Ax into dx dy into dx Ax into dy dz minus Ax into dy dz. That terms are cancelled. Here 1 by 2 into dou Ax by dou x into dx dy dz minus into minus plus 1 by 2 dou Ax by dou x into dx dy dz. That gives us dou Ax by dou x into dx dy dz. This is the net flux which is coming out of rectangular parallelopiped element along x direction. Similarly, we can calculate the net flux coming out of y-axis and z-axis. Earlier I said this field is expanding along all the three axes. Therefore, the net flux coming out from the volume element in y direction is dou ay by dou y into dx dy dz. The flux coming out from the volume element in y direction is given by dou ay by dou y into dx dy dz. Similarly, net flux coming out from the volume element along z direction is given by dou az by dou z into dx dy dz. This is the flux which is coming out along z direction. The total flux through this parallelopiped element is flux along x-axis plus flux along y-axis plus flux along z-axis. That is given by dou ax by dou x into dx dy dz. This is the flux along x-axis plus dou ay by dou y into dx dy dz. This is the flux along y-axis plus dou az by dou z into dx dy dz. This is the flux along z-axis. This is the total flux from parallelopiped. Here dx dy dz is common in all the three terms, taking out. Therefore, dou ax by dou x plus dou ay by dou y plus dou az by dou z into dx dy dz. This is the total flux coming out of volume element. Now, we wanted to calculate the net flux per unit volume. That is nothing but divergence. Therefore, here the volume of parallelopiped is given by dx dy dz. The volume of parallelopiped is given by dx dy dz. Therefore, the amount of flux diverging per unit volume is the total flux through the rectangular parallelopiped element divided by volume element. The total flux is dou ax by dou x plus dou ay by dou y plus dou az by dou z into dx dy dz, dividing with volume element divided dx dy dz. Here dx dy dz, dx dy dz getting cancelled. The remaining quantity is dou ax by dou x plus dou ay by dou y plus dou az by dou z. This is the amount of flux per unit volume which is diverging from rectangular parallelopiped element. This is nothing but divergence of a vector field. Just at the starting of lecture, we have done the dot product of del operator and vector quantity. We got there the value dou ax by dou x plus dou ay by dou y plus dou az by dou z. That is nothing but the divergence of a vector field, that is flux per unit volume. Therefore, div a bar that is equals to del dot a bar that is equals to dou ax by dou x plus dou ay by dou y plus dou az by dou z. This is the divergence of a vector field. The divergence of a vector field is the dot product. Naturally, dot product gives us a scalar quantity. Therefore, divergence of a vector field is a scalar quantity. As we already studied the properties of del operator independent of coordinate system which we have taken, that is the property of invariance. Del operator is invariant. The del operator is independent of coordinate system. Therefore, the divergence is also invariant. The divergence also independent of coordinate system which we have taken. This is the derivation of divergence of a vector field. Now, let us go for the physical significance of divergence. By operating del operator on a vector field by dot product, we are getting divergence. By operating del operator on a vector field by dot product, we get divergence, which is a scalar quantity. Divergence of a vector field is a scalar quantity. Though we are operating del operator on a vector field, we are getting divergence as a scalar quantity. So the amount of flux which is coming out of a particular point through unit volume is also called the divergence. This is the physical significance of divergence. If the divergence is positive, that means del bar dot a bar is positive at any point, then what it represents? It represents that the fluid is expanding. That fluid is expanding. The fluid is expanding means at that particular point, the density of the fluid is decreasing. The density of the fluid is decreasing. That represents the point acts as a source. That represents the point acts as a source. If the divergence of a particular point, divergence at any particular point is a positive. Divergence at any particular point is a positive. That point acts as source. There, the fluid is expanding. The density of the fluid is decreased there, therefore the point acts as a source. If the divergence at any particular point is a negative, that means the fluid is contracting. The fluid is contracting, therefore the density of the fluid is increased. The density of the fluid is increased. Therefore, that point acts as a sink. This is the very important physical significance of divergence. If the divergence is positive, that point is a source. If the divergence of a point is a negative, that point acts as a sink. If the divergence is a zero, if the divergence is zero, therefore the density remains constant. There is no change of density there. Therefore, there are no sinks, there are no sources. There are no sinks, there are no sources. Therefore, the density is constant if the divergence is zero. Such type of fluids are called incompressible fluids. The condition for a incompressible fluid is the divergence is zero. If del bar dot A bar is a zero, that vector field is representing a incompressible fluid. If the vector A is satisfying a condition del bar dot A bar equals to zero, that means the divergence is zero, that vector also termed as solenoidal vector. The vector also termed as solenoidal vector. If divergence is positive, that point acts as a source. If the divergence is a negative, that point acts as a sink. If divergence is a zero, that fluid is called incompressible fluid. That vector is known as solenoidal vector. If divergence is a zero, that vector is solenoidal vector. I am taking J bar, which is electric current density, del dot J bar, that represents divergence of electric current density, which gives the charge flowing out of unit volume. Del bar dot J bar represents or gives the charge flowing out of unit volume. If that del bar dot J bar is zero, the divergence of electric current density is zero, it shows that the medium contains full of free charges. The medium contains full of free charges. If del bar dot B bar, where B bar is magnetic field intensity, B bar is magnetic field intensity, del bar dot B bar represents magnetic flux. Del bar dot B bar represents magnetic flux. If this magnetic flux is zero, that means del bar dot B bar is zero. It shows that the magnetic flux is zero and the magnetic lines of force are closed loops. The magnetic lines of force are closed loops. These are the physical significances of gradient. Now we are going to solve few numericals regarding the divergence of vector field. The first numerical, if r bar is the position vector, then show that A, divergence of r bar is equals to 3, B, divergence del of, it is not divergence, del of r bar dot A bar is equals to A bar. Now I am solving the first one. The position vector r, we know r bar that is equals to xi plus yj plus zk. So that divergence of r bar, that is nothing but del bar dot r bar. Del is I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z dot xi plus yj plus zk. Here I dot I 1 dou x by dou x plus j dot j 1 dou y by dou y plus k dot k1 dou z by dou z. I dot j, that is 0. Therefore, I am not writing anything regarding I dot j, I dot k. J dot I also 0, j dot k also 0, k dot I also 0, k dot k also 0. So here I am performing or doing a dot product in between these two. I got dou x by dou x plus j dou y by dou y plus dou z by dou z. Dou x by dou x is 1, dou y by dou y is also 1, dou z by dou z also 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1, that gives you 3. So the divergence of position vector is 3. 3 is a scalar quantity. So the divergence, you know well, divergence of any vector field is a scalar quantity. Therefore, divergence of position vector gives us 3, the value 3. Here, r bar dot A bar. R bar is xi plus yj plus zk, which is a position vector. A bar is defined as axi plus ayj plus azk. Here I am doing dot product. Therefore, x into ax plus y into ay plus z into az. Just I am operating del operator on this dot product. Del of r bar dot a bar. Del of r bar dot a bar. Here r bar dot a bar is a scalar because it is a dot product. Scalar. Just I am operating del operator on scalar. What we'll get? We get a vector quantity. Therefore, this is nothing but the gradient of scalar field. So del of r bar dot a bar. Del means I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z of x ax plus y ay plus z az. So here I got the value as I dou x by dou x into ax plus j dou y by dou y by dou y into ay plus k into dou z by dou z into az. I got the value I ax plus j ay plus k az, which is nothing but vector a. Which is nothing but vector a. This is all about the first problem. Next, I go for the second numerical. Here a is given as 2x cube zi minus xy square zj plus 3y square xk. Then find divergence of a bar. Divergence of a bar means del dot a bar. Divergence of a vector field is del dot a bar. Here it is written as cross. It is not there. You have to take this as a dot product. A bar is given as 2x cube zi minus xy square zj plus 3y square xk. Then del dot a bar. Del dot a bar. This is typographic error. So del is I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z dot 2x cube zi minus xy square zj plus 3y square xk. And again, you perform dot product here. I dot I is 1. Dou by dou x of 2x cube z minus j dot j is 1. Dou by dou y of xy square z plus k dot k is 1. Dou by dou z of 3y square x. After doing partial differentiation, we get 6x square z minus 2xy z plus 0 because there are no z terms at all. Therefore, the partial differentiation of this term is 0. Therefore, finally, we got del dot a bar that is equals to 6x square z minus 2xy z. This is a scalar function. By doing dot product in between del operator and a vector a, we got here 6x square z minus 2xy z, which is a scalar quantity. Now go for this third numerical. Find the divergence of a bar at a point 1 comma minus 1 comma 1 when a bar is given as x square z I minus 2y cube z square j plus xy square zk. We know that divergence of any vector is given as del bar dot that particular vector. Here I am taking vector a, therefore divergence of a equals to del bar dot a bar. So del operator, you know, I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z. Just divergence of a is writing as the dot product between del operator and a given vector. Therefore, I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z dot given vector, that is x square zi minus 2y cube z square j plus xy square z k. Just doing dot product, writing that dou by dou x of x square z plus dou by dou y of minus 2y cube z square plus dou by dou z of xy square z. Performing partial differentiation here, that value will be 2xz minus 6y square z square plus xy square. This is also a scalar function. We are operating del operator with the dot product on vector field. We got a scalar function. But here the coordinate points are x equals to 1, y equals to minus 1, z equals to 1. Substituting these values in this expression, we got the value as minus 3, which is a scalar. Therefore, divergence of a vector field always gives us a scalar quantity. So just we are taking del operator and doing dot product here. After that, we are substituting the particular values of that point 1 comma minus 1 comma 1. Then we got the divergence of the field. Next, go for numerical 4. If a bar is given by yi plus j into x square plus y square plus k into yz plus zx, then find divergence at the point 1 comma minus 2 comma 3. This is very similar to its previous problem, where del bar is I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z. You know well. Divergence of A is written as the del bar dot A bar. Therefore, del bar, that is I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z dot given vector, that is Iy plus j into x square plus y square plus k into yz plus zx. Just doing dot product, we got dou by dou x of y plus dou by dou y of x square plus y square plus dou by dou z of yz plus zx. Performing partial differentiation, first term will be 0 because dou y by dou x, the partial differentiation of y with respect to x is 0. In this second term, we get 2y. In the third term, y plus x. That value is 3y plus x. But the point is given as 1 comma minus 2 comma 3. You just substitute the values here. Divergence of A equals to 3 into minus 2 plus 1 minus 6 plus 1, that is minus 5. Next, go for numerical 5. Find the value of a constant C for the vector A bar, that is given as I into x plus 3y plus j into y minus 2z plus k into x plus cz, where this vector is a solenoidal vector. So here C is to be calculated. If the divergence of any vector field is 0, that vector is called as a solenoidal. Therefore, the vector is a solenoidal if the divergence is 0. Divergence of A, that is equals to, del bar dot A bar, that is dou Ax by dou x plus dou Ay by dou y plus dou Az by dou z. Therefore, here I am taking the Ax component dou by dou x of x plus 3y plus dou by dou y of y minus 2z plus dou by dou z of x plus cz. This should be equals to 0. Therefore, the first value of this dou by dou x of x plus 3y, the value will be 1 here because 3y partial differentiation with respect to x is 0, dou x by dou x is 1. The second term, dou y by dou y is 1. The third term, c, 1 plus 1 plus c, that is equals to 2 plus c. This value will be 0. Therefore, 2 plus c equals to 0. This is the condition for solenoidal vector. If the divergence of a vector is 0, that vector is called as solenoidal. Therefore, the divergence is 2 plus c, that is equated to 0 here. Therefore, c equals to minus 2. In this way, we calculated the value of c. Now, the time for assignment. The first question is, define divergence of a vector field and write its physical significance. The second question, derive an expression for divergence of a vector field. The third one, prove that divergence of A bar plus B bar, that is equals to div A plus div B. This is a proof. We have to prove that. Next, fourth one, prove that vector A is given is a solenoidal vector. Just you calculate the divergence of this vector, you get 0, then the vector is a solenoidal vector. The fifth one is, if R bar is the position vector, then prove that divergence of R to the power of n into R bar. Here R to the power of n, the R is the magnitude of position vector into R bar, that is equals to 3 plus n into R power n. This proven. You have to perform this proof. So these are the 5 questions for your assignment. So thank you for your time.